Welcome back to the Weekly Pass. This is show 20, big show, talking all things MLB, MLB All-Star, Giants, Dodgers, everything MLB. And we're going to have our amazing guest, John Hartung, who covers the Dodgers and the Lakers. All that and more coming up next.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz
Do you love me? Are you riding?
Yes,
I don't know
we have got to do it. Oh, I'm off now.
We have a car.
I love it.
We have to do the Bonnie Jill Laugh Weekly Pass version.
We'll have to do it. That'll be what we'll do after the show.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome back to the Weekly Pass. I'm Bonnie Jill Laughlin. I was not here last week. My amazing guest took over, took over, and it was fun, right?
We missed you. It's okay, fun, yes, but we miss you, and it just feels odd.
Does it?
Having your face behind us and
then
you're not being here.
But I'm here in
here.
spirit.
You totally
You were
are.
here in spirit.
You totally
Very
are.
true.
You can check us out at BJL Weekly Pass on Twitter.
Yes.
And we're actually starting to get more active with that. Becky's doing that, even though David should be doing it because he's the millennial.
I'm sorry. I know.
know.
I'm younger than a millennial, even, believe it or not.
Oh, the Gen X or
Gen Z, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
And
I'm young.
our
We're young kids.
Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, I think you know this by now. You can see Becky's, David's, and mine. We don't even need to go through that anymore. But last week I was at the MLB All-Star Game, and that was so fun.
That was everything.
'Cause, y'all know I'm like, diehard baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You would think I'm be diehard basketball, which I am, but
Yeah.
MLB is like my sport. So, and what's funny is we led into that song, and Justin Verlander and Alex Bergman, when they were on their way on the private plane for the Astros to the All-Star Game in D.C., they did their own dance, which I didn't even know was like a thing.
It's such a thing. It's such a thing. So for those of you living under a rock, the In My Feelings challenge is an actual dance. It's like a challenge that everybody's doing to Drake's song.
And that's the MVP of the All-Star Game on the glasses. And you can see him, he turns around and starts to...
Oh my gosh. He's living his best life right there.
This is the best part right here. Here we go, when he turns around.
Oh yeah, he gets the bridge right here.
Yeah. And then Verlander starts hitting him, yeah.
Spirits are up. This is what happens when your team's winning, you're doing good in the All-Star game. Like, you have enough energy and want to do these kind of things.
Yeah.
And their record right now is crazy. So
Astros are doing amazing.
Yeah, so they're happy, which is usually hard to go like a back-to-back, but they're playing phenomenal. And Justin Verlander just
So are our Dodgers.
And Verlander, if you've been watching him, he's just been throwing some filthy pitches. He's just like, he's older now, and he's just killing it.
He's not who he was with the Tigers.
No.
He's never going to be the who could throw like 100 plus with the Tigers. I mean, but for a starter to throw that heat even back then, like, you don't see a lot of starters doing that. You see guys like closers like Aroldis Chapman and Ken Giles doing that. You don't ever see a starter.
And I believe he's 36, so it's
old.
He's not a young pup.
No, and he's fine. I'm happy.
Hey, 36 can be young, people. It's all in the
For
feelings.
athletes, it's
baseball.
old.
I know.
I'm happy to see him get in a World Series though last year because I think definitely with the way he played and the way the Tigers just went downhill, like he so deserves it.
Yeah.
Like
no, he's a good guy. I like
really
him.
does.
Sure.
So I thought that was
Go
pretty
Justin
funny.
That is so fun.
Bryce Harper won the home run derby, which is great for the hometown kid. The national fans were going, absolutely nuts.
I bet.
We
We heard it was like World Series energy.
Oh, they were going crazy. I mean, the thing of it is for me personally, and I know you'll probably agree, David, when Trout's not in it and Judge is not in it, it's not really a home run derby. Where Judge last year, he was in it, and remember, it messed up his swing, so he's like, I'm not going to do it. And the same thing with Trout. So
that happens a lot.
Yes, we've got Bryce, and that's amazing, and it was fun to watch him in the final deep finals of the home run derby. But to me, it's still not like it's kind of like the slam dunk contest. It kind of gets diluted, and it's not like the main guys anymore that are
which
playing
is sad to
in it.
me. Because you have guys like he faced Carl Schwarber in the finals. And Carl Schwarber's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but he's like I want to see like in 2016 like Stanton, like in 2015
thank you.
was
And
Todd
I hate
Frazier.
to say this, but just like the slam dunk and now the home run derby, if you're just the casual fan, you don't know who those people
you don't
are.
know.
Am I right?
No, people don't know who Derek Jones Jr. is in the slam dunk contest. You want to go back to when it was like Vince Carter.
That's what I'm saying.
And MJ in the dunk contest. LeBron doesn't
Dr.
even do
J,
the dunk contest.
I know that's what I'm saying. I mean, so for me, it's like it's a little anticlimactic.
It really is.
Sure.
It was great for Bryce to win it, of course.
Oh, he's
It was
a
great for
showman,
the
though.
game, I feel like, again, to get the fans involved.
And starting in 2017, the All-Star game used to mean something. Whoever won would
Yes, it
get the
did.
home field advantage in the World Series. A lot of people didn't like that. They said it should be obviously who is actually, winning in their division and actually has the better record.
And the 2017, they implemented it in the
and
World
so they
Series.
changed it. So this game really doesn't mean anything. It's very much an exhibition game, which again could be kind of boring, but it was still fun. A lot of home runs. I guess the most home runs I've had in the All-Star game in a long time. Alex Bergman got the MVP. It was fun.
Yeah,
You were busy. Your social media was going off the
because I was
hook.
working for T-Mobile doing their hats off to the troops, and so doing that, and then also on Capitol Hill pushing all my different legislation bills that I'm doing with animals and military. So I was busy there, but I was thinking about you guys, of course.
Oh, thank
How
you.
was it? So were you part of the storm? Because I heard the storm almost shut the whole game down.
But it wasn't that bad.
Okay,
Because
then
all of a
it's the
sudden
media,
everyone's
right?
like, all the storms coming in, and like you can see on the map like the red, and I'm all,
Oh, they made it a big
and
deal.
then all of a sudden,
Yeah, they
and all of a
made it.
sudden it was kind of raining, and I'm all right.
Okay, maybe it's the
I
drama.
mean, I had a hat on, so maybe I just, but it wasn't that, And then they also did the 7th inning stretch. They did the Stand Up to Cancer, which is always
Yeah, that's
nice
great.
that
They
do.
always do the All-Star game.
Sure.
And it's always
And don't
amazing.
you love it? And they do it during the World
so
Series
good.
as well. And obviously, I had mine for Jerry Buss, who was like a second father to me. So it's always nice when people can,
Good.
be able to honor, certain
It's
people.
great. I was there in 2016 in
Right.
San Diego. They did it. It was like really cool. As like my dad a couple years ago survived it, had lymphoma, survived it. It was incredible. I was really young. I remember it kind of, but like to be able to stand there like with him and with just the entire stadium
And the
all
whole
holding it up,
stadium goes
it's
really
beautiful.
quiet, but they're all
it's
holding,
beautiful.
and it's a little bit of somber, but it's still
No,
but it's a beautiful moment.
There's pictures of it. That's amazing.
Yeah, and then before the game, they honored 20 Medal of Honor recipients. I don't know if you guys watched that. So for me, with the military, I thought that was amazing to see all those guys standing.
So good.
And one of them throughout the first pitch. So it was great. Good time. Now, Commissioner Manfred ended up saying what he exactly said about Mike Trout was Trout would be an even bigger star if he would spend more time marketing himself. Trout basically said, and he's one of those class act guys. He just said, very, quickly in a presser that he likes to pick and choose what he does, and ultimately he just wants to go to the yard and play baseball. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
You know, he wants to go and just play baseball where they would like him to be the face of the whole league. And I just think that Derek Jeter was very good at being able to do both.
Sure.
But I don't know who. Maybe Aaron Judge is so young. I don't know, but I think Trout's basically like, hey, I don't.
Like the pressure of it might. He just wants to play, right? He
Right.
doesn't
What are your
want
guys'
pressure.
thoughts
He's
on
still,
that?
I mean, he's still, of course, just like he's still young.
Because you're an Angels fan.
I am an Angels
Yeah,
fan.
dish it.
If anyone wants to have the opinion that Mike Trout isn't the best player in the game right now, we can have a nice little chat.
Right.
Like, we can have a nice little chat, and I'll pull
And
up
he
my
is.
stats, and I'll show you why he is.
But what do you think about commissioners saying that he needs to do
think
more
I-
in the public eye, whether it's advertise, he wants him to be doing more of the
don't
endorsement
even-
deals and commercials and, so
I don't
forth.
even know the guy, and like I take offense to that
Right.
as an Angels fan and as a fan of Mike Trout. People don't understand, and it's not shown a lot, but it's shown enough. Mike Trout has this side of him where if he goes to sign autographs, he won't stop till every autograph
Yes.
is signed.
And that is so
He
true. He'll
is-
go around the entire stadium, and a couple of my
He's
friends who
so
cover the
good
Angels said
with-
he's just a class act.
Which
He's
is,
amazing.
and that's what I'm saying. So then the statement doesn't really make much sense because I feel like that is him using,
Right.
being the face. It's like he's
And
doing it in a
why-
different
but
way.
why did he even have to say anything? I guess is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
I don't know. It feels disrespectful for what he's done to the game
Sure.
and like the level of talent that he has
And class, and he's
And
very
class.
humble. When he's hitting
Right.
down
So
the park,
humble.
he's not the bat
No, he's
flipping.
such
He's
a good
not
guy.
like he's not taunting the pitcher.
Represents for his
So I
hometown.
like him. Family guy. Good guy. So I kind of thought those statements were a little
Yep.
inappropriate. Especially right during the All-Star game. And I
course.
don't know if it's they are trying to get more of that face, because you think about when Derek Jeter retired, they haven't really been able to get that face yet.
No, there really
And
isn't.
Bryce Harper, as much as he could be kind of the face, you don't want Bryce Harper, when he's cussing every,
Yeah,
ump
he's
out
got
and,
more of
and the
a-
anger
Well,
and
and
fire,
like-
which I love that about Bryce Harper, but
Sure.
he can't really be the All-American, dad wants the
Right.
kids to wear his jersey. You know what I'm talking about?
He's
Like-
got a little bit of an attitude problem.
yeah,
Just a little bit.
and that's fine, but I'm just saying, if you want that typical All-American
course.
Trout, or then Aaron Judge. But again, he's young.
He's just too young. I think
Yeah, they
Aaron
want
Judge,
the leadership of Trout. Yeah.
and
Speaking
Trout-
of people being young and maybe not too smart, let's talk about Josh Hader.
The chat is going wild about this really quick, Bunny Jill.
About
The chat wants to talk about this, what you're about to bring up. So we are
So-
done, guys.
with Josh Hader, if you guys don't know, 24-year-old from Milwaukee Brewers pitcher, who at 17 years old, obviously we cannot say some of the things that
No.
were on his Twitter. Becky, you saw it
No.
for the first time today.
Yes, I am just.
It was so bad
saying
that
it.
his family had to take off the jerseys and turn them inside out because they were going to be, they're basically ashamed and they didn't know how the fans were going to react. He did get shelled. He gave up 4 hits and a run during his time at the All-Star game. And it was interesting because then yesterday he goes home to Milwaukee Brewers ballpark and they gave him a standing O. I don't know if you guys saw that, which I thought was interesting. So there was a lot of people from Shannon Sharp to different people in the media saying, okay, well, wait a second, let's say, the NFL players who are kneeling, they didn't ever get a standing O for, representing what they were trying to push forward. And then this kid is, homophobic and racial slurs and so forth, and he gets a standing O. I don't know if they were just trying to give him support because he has said that he was dumb and young and he didn't know. Okay, David, you're 17 years old.
I am 17 years
old.
old.
Would you write that, or even? I know social media has been a little more ingrained into you growing up. What do you think?
First of all, just as a statement, I would never ever write that nor believe that because that's horrible and awful. And I think as a world, I think we're trying to get better than that. But I mean, he was 17 at a different time. But the thing about 17-year-olds and kids in general is, being the 17-year-old expert here, it's just there are so many varieties of 17-year-olds. I have my morals and I hold myself in a certain way, but I hold myself in a certain way.
But remember,
as
he was a
certain,
prospect already at 17.
No,
do you know what I
he
mean?
was,
So this
but-
wasn't like he knew he was going to be in the public eye at some point.
There's a certain it's really about there's different I know some kids who I don't think I know any kids who would say that, but I know some kids who could come close. I know some kids who know people who would actually say that. And it's
this happened in the draft. Remember with Josh Allen as well.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's my thing is I understand that when you're young you do certain things that
People are idiots
and
when
say
they're
things but he kind of went a little extreme on
Way too extreme.
don't you think? And then
Way
writing
too
KKK
extreme.
and then
it's
the N-word and
about-
different things that I just think what makes me wonder is his family. His mom and dad.
It's about how
Am I
you're
right?
raised. It's about
the apple
all that
doesn't fall
stuff.
too far from the tree.
I'm disgusted. I think that no matter what, there's no excuse. We are in an age now where what you put out there is going to encapsulate you. It's going to be
Right.
brought back up. It's going to fall on your family, on your friends, on your career.
But did you read some of this stuff?
Absolutely,
it's
I did. And to give everyone, a recap, I have not been well versed on this, and I got well versed before the show, and I'm disgusted. But this has been.
And not only, was he saying things about being homophobic and racial about women, it just kind of goes on
and there's
on.
conversation about him using rap lyrics, and
And
there's no
again,
excuse.
and that's the
There's
other
no
thing is that
excuse.
it's lyrics that wasn't him saying it. Okay, but you don't need
It's
to.
still branded by
you
his
don't need-
name,
right?
and that's where I get heated. Is this has been such a topic of conversation
And I didn't
outside
know
of it.
until recently that I guess there's an app where, because you can't really go back that far on Twitter, but I guess there's an app that media can go and see all the way back.
It's recorded always.
Right.
Twitter keeps everything.
Everything on the
documented.
internet is there
Even if
forever.
you delete it, it's there.
Yes.
Everything on the internet is there forever.
And that's the thing. This has been
golden
a
rule.
topic of conversation, not only just in sports, but obviously in entertainment. Like we talked about before the show, Roseanne,
Yes, you were
tweeted and
saying.
lost her job, and you just
it
have to
worth
be
it,
accountable.
though?
You have to be
No.
accountable.
Yeah.
People
To
want to
tweet something bad and lose your job? Absolutely
But here's the thing:
not.
people chalk it up to freedom of speech. But in this case with Josh, there's no. This is not freedom of speech. This is stupidity.
Right.
It's ignorance.
And what do you guys think about the fact that he got a standing ovation from his fans
I think that's horrible.
in Milwaukee?
I think that's awful. I think
Because you're kind of condoning what he did. Am I wrong?
You absolutely are. Again,
You're-
it's ignorance. It's
And what's funny is that he's not even getting suspended or anything. He just has to do these diversity and inclusion initiatives, and then in addition,
They're
sensitivity
trying.
training. What is that?
They're trying to fix him. But I mean, there's certain people who are gonna like look at it like, oh, well, he was young, he's probably different now. But I think while that's true, you can't judge a person based on what they did. You still have to be accountable for your actions. And there's freedom of speech, but there's also consequences to what you say. Just because you say something horrible and there's freedom of speech doesn't mean people aren't going to react the way they should react.
Especially because he's representing the team.
Thank you. And I think no matter what, I don't care if you are in a position of celebrity.
At the All-Star game,
yes,
Becky.
Again, if you are in a position of celebrity, I don't care who you are, there needs to be restraint. I think that, yes, we all say stupid things, we all do stupid things, but when you are in a position of, again, of power, if you will, again, whether it's your celebrity, being an athlete, a politician, whatever, it goes so far beyond just freedom of speech. You have to have restraint and be consciously thinking about what your words and how they're going to impact people. And that's such a big thing to me, is words impact people in such... I mean, I've been on the other end of trolls saying things.
Yes, so have I.
All of us have. And words have such a... It's giving me chills. Terrible impact, and I'm upset that there's no reprimand. That speaks to me.
And then apparently, I think he deleted all of his accounts, his Twitter and Instagram.
But what does it matter?
And the only reason he did that is because he couldn't take the heat of what people were saying to him.
Right.
It's a really, I mean, for him, there's no way out of the situation.
I was just shocked that he got a standing ovation, you guys. I thought that was appalling.
It is appalling, but it speaks to the fan base, if you will. I mean, I've lost.
It's not a good look for the Brewers.
No,
or the
that's
city.
What I'm saying.
Milwaukee.
Why aren't they stepping up?
What
like
is
ABC
the
did?
fans saying in our chat?
Oh man, unhappy. Bear Hudson, thank you so much for being vulnerable and honest on our chat. There's a lot happening. He was saying.
You can read a couple.
I'm going through all the way. He says,
I
feel as a person of color, there is no hope for us, and there is hope. It starts with one person, not focusing on the negative. And then Bernard X had said, you think big prospects would have been groomed basically from birth.
That's what I'm saying. That's the first thing I said. He's a prospect. It wasn't like a kid who didn't know. He was a prospect, already knew he was going to be playing in the bigs at some point.
And also, I love this comment he made. Disney requires you to go through training. If you're represented by Disney, there's no tolerance. And so I think that's the thing, is we've just allowed too much tolerance, and that's what the Brewers need to step up. So.
And I don't know now, because he went into the clubhouse and he was crying to his teammates and said he's sorry and it's not who he is, and everyone kind of has embraced him.
Because people can change.
They can change,
I think is
and they also want him to be
sure.
mentally focused when he's on the mound. I get it. It's also a two-way street. There could be some players in that clubhouse who are like, oh, yeah, kid, you're good. You apologize. But, you know what I mean? Deep down, they're like, but I'll as a teammate, I want him to succeed. So, and for selfish reasons, if that makes sense.
Well, he's got a huge hole to dig himself out of, because I do believe there is redemption, so...
There is. It's just going to take a lot.
Yeah, respect. Yeah, respect.
And I don't know if he can come back from that. I mean, I know, especially sports fans are very forgiving, but it's something where you kind of just still wonder how that even happened.
Sure.
When I saw that, I was like, wait, is this fake news?
Sure. Oh my gosh,
when
of course.
Standing O.
Of course.
In other news, it was funny. Manny Machado was interviewed during the All-Star game, and he had been traded to your Dodgers, your Dodgers, not my Dodgers.
Nope.
And crazy, you go from the Orioles, who I think they've won 28 games or something crazy.
They have been terrible.
And then he goes to the Dodgers, not so bad.
Not so bad. I'm excited.
No, if I'm Manny Machado, I'm pretty happy about this. I mean, the Orioles, a couple years ago, they were actually looking up. Chris Davis was hitting a lot of home runs. Adam Jones was a good player. Then they just kind of, they really just fell down. Their starting pitching is terrible. They really don't have anyone. And then Manny Machado, he's a great third baseman defensively. He can hit well.
Yes.
I think he's probably the best player on that team, aside from guys like Jones and Davis.
Yeah.
And I think him being out of there is really a benefit to his career. And I think the Dodgers are a team that'll foster him well. I think the Dodgers have been looking for an extra piece ever since Corey Seager went down, and they kind of need that shortstop
all the
help.
injuries.
And with Turner out as well, so he'll be playing third. He was going to be playing short, and he's actually been playing third
He's
now.
much better at third, though. Short would have been a mistake.
I think it would have been tough for him.
His throw,
yeah,
baby. Take it.
He plays.
So
plays
the
on that
Dodgers
corner
are
well.
just loading up, and once we get John on the phone, I'm interested to see what other, because the trade deadline for the MLB is July 31st, which is somewhat around the corner.
It's getting there. It's in a week.
But you never know. That's the last day is when things really start.
That's because once the deadline starts ticking, especially in every sport, that's when people are like, all right, we got to make our moves now, and players just get bounced around and traded,
right.
and some work out really well, and some doubt. I mean, if you look at last year when the Dodgers acquired Yu Darvish, and Yu Darvish was a player for the Rangers who had such a talent. He was an ace for them. He went to the Dodgers, and he was decent. But then you saw in Game 7 of the World Series, he allowed too many runs in the first inning, second inning.
Right.
He just kind of blew the game for them, and immediately they were like, all right, this is just kind of a loan now, and boom, Cubs. There you go.
So, hey, John.
Hi.
How are ya? I know you're getting ready for a game, but we're glad to have you on. We were just talking Dodgers and obviously talking Manny Machado. And, I want to kind of like dive right into this because I know you have a kind of a time schedule. It's early in the process, but do you think that the Dodgers can re-sign Machado for an actual long-term contract? Because right now he's basically on loan, because I know the Yankees really want him as well.
Yeah, I know the Yankees really want him, and I know the Phillies. I have a friend who works in the media covering the Phillies. He said the Phillies really wanted to trade for Machado, and they're going to want him in a big way after the season as well. The Dodgers surely can re-sign him. I think a lot of it will depend on what happens over these next couple of months and in the playoffs as well, if the Dodgers are able to make it. It's certainly not something they're going to rule out. It's too soon to tell, though, whether it's going to be a huge priority for them, because Machado is only 26 years of age after a couple of weeks ago, and he's going to command 8 to 10 years from everything that I'm hearing, and I'm not sure if the Dodgers want to commit to something that long-term at this point.
Yeah, because we know how sometimes that can pan out, John.
Sure.
It doesn't always work out for the best. How is the feeling from Dodger fans from the clubhouse having his reception coming to the Dodgers?
The reception in the clubhouse from the players, they were all ecstatic. I don't know if you guys saw the video that Justin Turner's wife, Courtney, posted on Twitter of Justin and Alex Wood reenacting their excitement
when they were on the boat?
The news.
Yeah, I did see that, yes.
You guys did see that. So, but no, anytime, and players have told me this so many times, that when they see a new guy walking into the clubhouse, especially someone of that caliber, it lifts everybody up. And especially when you consider how much this team has gone through this year with the injury to Corey Seager, losing him for the year, and you lose Justin Turner for 2 months with a broken wrist, and then Clayton Kershaw's down for a couple of months, and you lose 4/5 of your starting rotation at one point. To see them and see all their hard work, I should say, being paid off with the front office going out and making a deal like this, it just lifts everybody in that clubhouse up.
Well, it's funny. I wish I could use that excuse for my Giants. Lots of injuries, but you guys are winning the division. I can keep saying injuries, but you guys have had just the amount of injuries as the Giants, and you guys are still looking to win that division. I mean, your hitting is, out of the park. And do you think there are still some missing holes that the Dodgers front office wants to fill before that July 31st deadline, John?
Yeah, without a doubt. They have a lot of injury problems in the bullpen as well. They have several guys, at least 5 guys that are on the disabled list right now who would normally be in that bullpen, and they don't know exactly how healthy they're going to be for the stretch run. So ideally, if they could get a couple more guys, a couple more arms for that bullpen, that's the area they're going to target, unless there's some chance that they can get a starting pitcher, an elite starting pitcher. If they could pull off somebody like a Jacob deGrom, then they could take a couple guys who are currently in the rotation, who have experience pitching out of the bullpen, and they can bump them into that pen. But that's certainly an area they're going to be targeting these next 6-7 days for sure.
Right. We're speaking with John Hartung, who covers the Dodgers and Lakers for Spectrum. John, okay, what is your thoughts on how Kershaw has done since he's been back? I mean, I know he hasn't had a lot of starts. I mean, what is the feeling you're kind of getting evaluating his process right now?
Well, he's clearly not 100% because we're not seeing the Clayton Kershaw we've seen in years past. He had the biceps tendonitis, then came back. His first start after having biceps tendonitis, the back is giving him some problems. So he really made one start over about 2 months. And the velocity just hasn't returned. And to be completely honest, it wasn't really there at the beginning of the season before he went down with biceps tendonitis. And we're not sure if he's going to get the velocity back this season. He might not, because the back could still be something that's hindering him a little bit. And if so, we talked about this with Oral Hershiser on one of our shows a couple days ago, Clayton might need to reinvent himself somewhat to get through these final few months. He's certainly capable, based on the stuff he still has, of getting guys out in other ways, but that might be what he's going to have to do the final 2-3 months of the season.
Well, I mean, a lot of people are saying, like, I know I have to go back to my Giants again, John, but like with Madison Bumgarner, that he maybe is declining. Is it the same kind of thing with Kershaw? I mean, you kind of wonder at some point with these pitchers, they do start to slowly decline and they do have to change their game.
They certainly do, and I don't want to sit here and say that Clayton Kershaw's on the decline, but the reality is that, he's he's only 30 years old, but he has so much mileage. He's thrown so many innings in his career coming up at such a young age that, it's natural to wonder if he is starting to lose it a little bit. You don't know if it's all health related or if, certainly just all the mileage is catching up with him. But I know that right now the Clayton Kershaw we're seeing, and it's obvious to anyone who's watching the games, is not the same Clayton Kershaw that we've seen in the past. But whether that maintains in years to come, the next 2-3 years, I don't know yet. I think it's too soon to tell.
I mean, we all know that Clayton Kershaw has that deadly 12-6 curve that, we saw him use in his no-hitter. That Vin Scully talked about a lot, but it still happened. Hey, John, David here. Hi,
David.
Hey, how's it going? I want to get your thoughts on, because the Dodgers, we all know, they had the injuries, Corey Seager, Justin Turner, and they've started to back and climb up their division, and they still got teams a little behind them. You got teams like Colorado coming up, but I think, basically, are you scared of the Arizona Diamondbacks right now as a Dodgers supporter?
I don't think the Dodgers are really scared of any of the teams in the West. It's actually nice to be in a division that is so bunched up. You have 4 teams, and I think any of the 4 teams, if they get hot and if certain things bounce their way, they could possibly win the division. It's not just the Arizona Diamondbacks. I think the Colorado Rockies are very dangerous as well, and the Giants, because of their experience and having won championships before, they're always going to be a threat. I think the way the Dodgers look at it, if they can somehow get these guys healthy, they still have a lot of guys on the disabled list. JT just went on the DL again, and Yasiel Puig's coming back hopefully soon from an oblique. They have all those pitchers as well that are still hurt. If they can get everybody healthy, I don't think they are worried necessarily about any of the other teams in the National League West.
I don't think they would be,
Yeah. John, Becky here. Thank you so much for being on, and pleasure to meet you. So on the topic again of injuries, I know this is a typical thing for the Dodgers, and manager Dave Roberts has had to, he's had to use the depth and versatility of their lineups. But how is this pressure of Machado being an anchor player? How is that going to affect him? Do you think he'll get burned out? I wonder, how is the pressure going to be for him for the rest of the season going into September and October?
For Dave Roberts or for Machado?
For Machado, yeah.
I think Machado is so energized being over here
from the Orioles.
With a team
you
that's
think?
In first place. He was on a team that was 41 games under 500. All of a sudden, he gets traded to a team that's 10 games over 500 at the time and in first place. I think he's just relishing this opportunity, and he realizes there's no certainty as to what's going to happen after this year. And he came over with a great attitude. All we had heard was that he wants to play shortstop only. Well, because of the injury to Justin Turner, we've had to put him at third base. As of last night, he's going to be playing third base for the foreseeable future, and he's been completely on board with that. And I think when you put yourself into a situation with a team that's contending and at least has a chance to go to the postseason and maybe get to the World Series, he's energized, and he wants to do whatever he can to help this team win.
And it sounds like, too, the players are just, that infectious energy is making such a big difference on the team because they're seeing him rise up. And sometimes I think that's just what teams need when they're in the scope of injuries.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen it just in 4 games. We were talking about it last night on our post-game show with Sean Green and Ned Coletti that you can tell the guys are feeding off of some of what Manny Machado is doing, and it affects everybody in the lineup. It affects everybody in the field, and I think it just affects the overall confidence level. And, you guys know this. You've been around baseball a long time, especially you, Bonnie Joe. It's a 162-game marathon, and it's tough to keep that energy up throughout the season. It is so long. It is such a grind. And to have something like this and have a player come on board at this time of year, especially when you're heading into the dog days, it helps the team get through what is normally a difficult stretch of the season.
Now, I know we got to let you go soon, but John, a big question. When is Sportsnet going to let everyone watch the games? Because do you understand how frustrating it is, John, for me? I have to watch the Giants-Dodgers game on my computer, on my phone, because I can't get the games. Can you help me out here, John? What's going on?
Yes, I agree. I second that.
Yeah, is there a password you can give me so I can get through all this, or what's going on?
Invite us to the studio.
I wish I had some answers for you guys, but that's way above my pay grade. I know people who are way higher up than me are doing everything they can to make it so that everybody can watch the games, and ultimately that's the goal. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens because I have no idea what's what to tell all of you guys about that.
Oh, I
Sorry.
thought you had something else for me that eventually, like next
just works
season,
there.
it'll be. Yeah. Now, John, I
Yeah.
want to ask you about a little bit of Lakers, and then we'll let you off the hook here. So the Lakers have all these different personalities. You know, Michael Beasley, McGee. You know, Rondo, LeBron. How do you think Luke Walton, who we both know very well, is going to be able to kind of deal with all these different personalities? It's not even really LeBron. I'm more concerned about Rondo.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many different personalities, and it seemed like every single day they were signing somebody. You're like, oh my gosh, really? And I think it's going to be a challenge for someone like Luke Walton because he's only got a couple years under his belt as a coach. And I was thinking about this the other day. I hope that maybe because he played for Phil Jackson when Phil had Kobe and he had Shaq and he had all those other guys, he had a lot of large egos and personalities. And maybe he's learned something from the way Phil Jackson handled such a roster that he can incorporate that here. But, yeah, you've got some personalities on that team that you look at and think, wow, there are a couple of possible loose cannons there.
Yes.
But it's certainly going to be fun to watch. I mean, it's like the Lakers of old, just in fact that there were so many big personalities and there was drama all the time, it seemed like. And at least on paper, it appears that we're going to have some of those fun storylines to be able to follow this entire season.
And that's funny you said that because I was thinking if anyone can kind of handle all these personalities, it would have been Phil Jackson. So maybe since, you know, Luke was always kind of, you know, under his wing, that maybe he will be able to handle this because it makes me a little nervous, this whole team right now, how they're going to all gel.
It's certainly a lot to ask of a very young coach, but he does have some veteran guys who are on his staff with him. And obviously he has Magic Johnson, who's heading up basketball operations. So, and LeBron's a very smart guy as well. And I think they're going to be able to manage it, but I think it's going to take some time before everything really comes together there.
And speaking of Magic Johnson, talk about having a great year between the Dodgers and the Lakers. I mean, he's doing everything, right?
He is living his best life, y'all.
Yeah, I think July has gone pretty well for him so far between getting LeBron and some of these other guys he's been able to sign. And then the Dodgers trading for Manny Machado. It's been a really good month for Magic Johnson, but, you know, 1 month is not going to make it. He wants to see both teams get to the finish line, and hopefully, I think it's too soon to tell what the ceiling is going to be for this Lakers team. I think they're going to be a lot better than some people are saying out there. I'm hearing some people suggest, oh, they won't even win 50 games. They're not even that good. I think they're going to be a lot better than a lot of people believe.
Well, we hope so. Well, thanks, John. I know you got to get to work, right? You're covering the Dodger-Philly game.
3 o'clock
right?
show. Yeah, 3 o'clock show. Dodgers are in Philadelphia, so we're going to be on the air fairly soon.
Okay. Beat LA. Go Giants.
I know. They're having such a good road series right now.
Me and John always have to go back and forth with the Dodgers and Giants, and he loves me still.
Yes, we do.
Well, I'm on your
Yes, we
side,
do.
John. I'm a Dodger fan.
All right, I'll go over here. I'm an Angels fan. I'll go over here.
I love that. Thank you.
Thanks, John, as
We
always.
have somebody there in that building who is.
Yes,
That's
one.
good.
One of them.
See you soon, John. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
So it is interesting to see what else the Dodgers will do. He said that they definitely need to get, you know, some relievers in the bullpen, pitching, but they're hitting, you know.
Their hitting's pretty good. It's pretty top tier, and it was pretty top tier last year. They really have. They still have, I think, enough pieces to get there to the series, but it's really about like taking that next leap and actually winning the thing. They got to 7 last time, but it was really their pitching which kind of like lost it for them, and they couldn't get the hitting together in that last game. And Game 5 in Houston was such a huge game for the series. It was that back and forth, a hitter's duel. It's going to be hard
They need to
see
be
them,
healthy. They need to be healthy.
to take on another AL team and try to beat them. But the NL, it's not looking as tough as it should be
look
for
at
the
Boston's
Dodgers.
killing it, obviously, you know, and then you look at the A's. That team right now is on a roll. They have won 24 out of 31, and majority of their
Unbelievable.
hitters are hitting below 270.
Wow.
Yeah, they are.
They're just going yard all the time. So
Sure.
it's the A's are kind of like the team right now to
The
talk
A's are
about.
climbing up. And if you know a little bit about the AL West, you know the A's are usually the bottom.
I know.
The A's are never, they really, ever since
And
like.
they always trade away their good guys.
They do. They traded away Yoenis Cespedes a while.
They
made
always
it-
do. They're always known for that.
They made it to the postseason, and they won a couple of games, but they just couldn't. I think they played like the Tigers or something, and they couldn't get past them. And just ever since then, it's just been downhill. Their stadium is, it's just hurting. The fan base is hurting. But to see like them go back up, it's hard to watch as an Angels fan, but as a baseball fan, like
Yeah, it's a sports fan. It's exciting to see that.
it's nice to see the A's like, I mean, they've gotten rid of a lot of guys.
Yeah.
They really have changed up that lineup.
And then you look at like the AL Central, like the Indian. Look at the record. I mean, it's just funny to see like just a different division.
It's the AL Central is just
because the NL West was supposed to be the hardest, and then with all the injuries, it kind of changed.
It really like. I mean, you still got teams like in the NL West, like the Diamondbacks and the Rockies, and of course the Dodgers and the Giants are only 5.5 back. So it's still a close race there, but I mean the AL Central, it's the Indians, and then you have the Twins 8.5 games back.
Isn't it crazy?
It's nothing to watch.
And then you look at the wild card team that comes out of that, and it's going to be much better record than that.
Oh
AL
my
Central.
God. Of course.
So
because the wild card, they're not necessarily worse. Like they could be better
it's just
than
a harder division.
Like the Yankees or the Red Sox are going to be the number one seed wild card.
Right.
Like you can already tell, and they're better than probably the Indians. But the Indians are going to win their division.
Boston has the best record in baseball, I think, and we'll see. I mean, we're really at the midpoint, All-Star break. So a long ways to go, but we'll be able to tell by August who's kind of,
Sure.
Yeah, Boston's got. I mean, they got guys like Mookie Betts and JD Martinez. Interestingly enough, before transition, just a little fact of the day: JD Martinez is actually the most recent player to ever hit 4 home runs in a game.
Wow.
But do you know who the second most recent is?
Who?
Is Scooter Gennett.
Oh, is it?
It is.
I wouldn't have never known that.
No, he hit it on June 6, 2017 for the Reds.
Right.
Which was
I would have never known that little tidbit.
No, exactly.
I
There's
love
a little
it.
tidbit.
That's a good
and
one.
before that, it was Josh Hamilton in 2012, but no one hit it in like 5 years. And
Hamilton.
Scooter Gennett with I know it's an Angels fan, Josh Hamilton. Sorry, but Scooter Gennett with the All-Star game. I thought I'd throw that little tidbit in there.
I
for
like
you.
Love it.
That's
We
a good
love
one.
the
You got to
fun
bring
facts.
one of those every.
I will.
One of those every week.
I got fun facts up in here.
Good.
Believe it or not.
I've got animal facts that I know.
That's good. We like animal
I
facts.
have food
though.
facts, so we kind of covered the
We're
whole
good.
We're good.
spectrum.
Guys.
Before we wrap the show in about 10 minutes, we got to get into the NBA, and with Kawhi going to Toronto,
It's finally happened.
we know that Kawhi was not happy about going to the Raptors. He did
Yeah.
not want to go. I was even unsure, like, is he going to try to sit out? Like, what's going to go on? But he did go and met with Masai, the GM. He was in Toronto. Everyone's saying that the fans are so happy that he'll end up really loving Toronto, which
Sure.
I hope so. On the other side of that trade, DeMar DeRozan is not happy. He felt like his loyalty wasn't there with Masai. Masai ended up saying publicly that he apologized if there was some miscommunication about that he was going to stay. And did you see, DeMar, what he did with his Instagram? He deleted
Yes, he did.
every
Yes, he
picture,
did.
everything, and then just put in his IG story feeling betrayed. I don't know exactly what it was,
He's hurt.
but
He's super
Oh,
hurt.
can you even imagine? I don't blame him. I'm totally on the DeMar.
He gave his all to that city. He gave his all
he
to
did,
that
but I
organization.
kind of don't like what he did with Dwayne Casey. He was one of the guys that said, "I want Casey out." Okay, so maybe it's called karma. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, Casey got out. Now he's out.
Did you see it? Don't you find that ironic? And
It's
Casey
kinda-
wins,
yeah,
wins
it's
Coach of the
weird.
Year.
Yeah. I mean,
which is
It's
hilarious
just the whole
in
thing
my
is just
opinion.
weird. So it's interesting to see how that's all going to pan
I'm glad
out.
something finally happened. Like I was waiting for Kawhi to be traded, and now he's been
Yes.
traded. And I think he actually
I
fits
just
in
never,
nicely.
I never thought Toronto. I'll be
No.
honest with
I
you.
mean,
No.
I think he fits in nicely
Yeah.
there, though. Like, there's not a lot. I mean, Kawhi could really fit anywhere,
Oh,
but
no,
like
he could.
team.
I wanted him for the Clippers.
He's one of the best two-way players in
I
the
like
league.
I
seeing
wanted
the
him
Clippers.
to only because I
But
just
where?
the Clippers because there's so much happening in LA. It's like I wanted just more stir.
I never know if
between
you're
the
talking
teams.
about your Blazers or your Clippers.
Clippers.
Yeah.
And then
For you.
Carmelo Anthony. We knew that was coming.
Yep, we all knew it. That wasn't a surprise to anyone.
So trade to the Hawks and then now
Sure.
bought out. Yes. And so he's going to be going to the Rockets, signing for the veteran minimum, which is 2.4 1 year. I am curious to see how he is going to mesh with Harden and
Yes.
Paul, because if you look at how he was with Paul George and Westbrook, it's the same kind of dynamic. Like he kind of needs, to take a back seat is what I'm trying to say. And I think that's where he needs to be more of a supporting role than a lead role. And that's how it's going to work. Will Melo do that? I am not sure because he kind of wants to be the focal point of the offense, and I just don't see how that will work. And I think it could end up be end of the season. Here we go again. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yep. No, Carmelo Anthony is a really interesting story. I mean, when he was on the Nuggets, very good, excellent player, all-star caliber.
yeah.
Went to the Knicks, tore that team
Right.
down.
Once he was in the Knicks, I was not a fan.
Tore it down. He's gotten old. He thinks he's aged like LeBron, and I feel bad for Houston fans right now because Carmelo Anthony just takes your team down. I know he signed for the veteran minimum, and I know, the Hawks bought him out with all that money, but he had all that money in OKC. OKC was supposed to be a super team, and I think Paul George and Russell Westbrook can, but it was really Carmelo Anthony chucking up too many shots, not getting open looks, being a selfish player who won't even go to the bench. That really took them down. Now, Carmelo Anthony
he's saying that
and Chris Paul are friends.
And he's saying he just wants to win. I don't know if I believe that.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's anticlimactic because he was just so underperformed. Like everything, all his percentages were
I'm not
low.
a fan of Carmelo. And, even before all this happened, remember me and you were speaking about that? I said he won't be there. He will not be in OKC. I thought it was going to be mid-season, and obviously it happened way before. But,
okay, good for OKC for getting rid of him, though. He was really hurting their team. He hurts teams he goes to
But
now.
doesn't he kind of start to, does that click at some point where teams want to get rid of me?
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, eventually I would hope he'd think like, okay, well, OKC's probably mad at me. What's going on? At least I'm under contract.
I guess my opinion about it, though, is Westbrook is such a ball-dominant player, right? So maybe that chemistry just wasn't quite right. I just wonder how.
It's the same thing with Harden and
I
Paul.
don't feel like it's just, but I don't know. I think it's just a different dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, everyone said Harden and Paul wouldn't be able to share the ball well, but they did, and that team did really good. But
I don't know about Carmelo and Harden. I'm telling you.
No, because he didn't gel with Russell Westbrook. Because Russell Westbrook,
Russell.
there you go, is a very. I mean, he's a good player, but he's a selfish player, and Russell Westbrook basketball doesn't win championships, and that's the reison why OKC's never got over the hump. Even when they went to the finals in 2012, they never got there because Russell Westbrook is too selfish of a player. He's amazing, but he chucks up 30-foot shots when he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
It doesn't translate to championship basketball. You can get a decent record out of it. You can have some excitement.
But he looks a lot about individual statistics too, Carmelo.
And he can be MVP too. I mean, Russell Westbrook. Not Melo. Russell Westbrook won the MVP, but that's because of individual stats. Melo may win an MVP.
So it will be interesting now to see. I'm interested to see, going back, how Kawhi will do in Toronto, how DeRozan's going to do with the Spurs, how Carmelo's going to do with Houston. It's a lot of.
Can we just take a second to realize that the Oklahoma City Thunder kind of got a steal with Dennis Schroeder?
Oh, I think so too.
They just kind of.
I know people aren't really talking about that as much.
He was a little bit the Hawks franchise at that point.
Yeah.
Like they didn't really have anyone else since like Horford and Millsap were gone, and they just kind of stole him. Like they traded Carmelo Anthony. I think if you trade Carmelo Anthony for any player, you've stolen them. But I think Dennis Schroeder can like be a nice little presence in OKC and really like invigorate that team a little bit more.
But I'm curious to see how D'Antoni is going to deal with this. He's the head coach of the Rockets, obviously, and I'm just curious to see how he will do with trying to be able to.
It's going to be hard because Melo's going to want to take a lot of shots, and in an organization where they focus heavily on offense, it's going to be hard for D'Antoni to tell Melo to stop.
Everyone's going to want their hands on the ball.
Yeah.
It's just more. It's more people who demand the ball when they shouldn't demand the ball.
Yeah.
Right. And we dived a little bit into with John about all the different personalities of the Lakers.
The Lakers are comedy at this point to me.
Michael Beasley, I don't know, y'all, what you think. I just think it's kind of like, when you're trying to figure out what to eat and you go in your pantry and you start grabbing stuff and you throw it into it seems a little
mishmash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the Lakers,
and I'm not sure. Maybe I'll eat my words, and and they're going to be in the Western Conference
they're
Finals.
stirring. They're just literally throwing everything at the wall.
I just think it's a little too much, and I just think Lance Stevenson, and then JaVale McGee and Rondo. He's the one I'm concerned about. Beasley, LeBron, and then you got all the young cats. I don't know.
There's a lot happening on that
There's
bench.
a lot going on. And then for Luke Walton, who is, I'm not going to say unexperienced, but he's still not, do you know what I mean?
He's not there yet to the caliber of coaching
and
these players.
And I think that B. Shaw, who is an assistant head coach, I think he's going to have to take over a lot.
He's going to have to help a lot, and LeBron's going to have to help a lot. But the Lakers pretty much, they got their superfood in LeBron, and then they just kind of were like, anything else will do. We're healthy enough. Let's just grab.
I know, but I feel like that, again, talking about mixing too many things in the pot, it's a bad recipe.
Yeah, when I saw Beasley come across my phone, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Too much.
Beasley.
Too much. But we also know they're in that mentality of 2019. So maybe they're just literally like sucking whatever they can.
See what sticks? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just interested to see how this is all going to.
LeBron doesn't work well with those guys.
No.
Look at J.R. Smith. He didn't work well with J.R. Smith, and he got mad at him.
If you really look at the rest of the team, I mean, Beasley did play with LeBron in Miami. I'm just curious. LeBron's kind of used to, besides J.R. Smith, kind of dealing with guys who are pretty focused, high basketball IQ.
Yeah.
How is he going to deal with all these kind of knuckleheads?
He's going to lose his mind. He's going to lose his mind just a little bit because you got guys like, JaVale McGee.
And then don't forget Lonzo and then LeVar.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's a whole nother storyline there.
It's just a lot going on. I'm going to be honest.
LeBron's got a lot to do with. He really has like a full plate.
I think it's going to backfire. I think there's too much.
And we do know that that LeBron is, when he becomes part of an organization, he becomes part of an organization. So he's having to kind of like sign off on
He's
all
going
these.
to be a little bit of the
100%.
organization.
But he's signing off on all these. So is he okay with all
I guess so. I guess he's all right
I
bringing
don't
Michael
know.
Beasley in there. And Rondo.
I'm sorry, the Michael Beasley threw me off.
I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, leave it to LA. It's going to be a circus. I mean, it is literally going to be a circus.
I mean, what's going to happen when they're fighting for the 8th seed? You know what I mean? Like, I'm being honest.
They're not going to have enough
Or
to
what's
get
going
the
to
pass from
happen
LeBron.
when they're at January or before the All-Star break and they're not winning, and now Luke Walton's gone because Jeannie Buss has already gone to bat for Luke, but now can you continue to go to bat for him? I mean, LeBron wanted Fizdale as the coach for the Lakers.
I mean,
and then, or do you
Fizdale
bring
was
Teron
good
Luke for
coach,
Cleveland?
but-
I mean, there's so many different things, but I'm curious to see, like, I wish I could fast forward and see what's
I
going
want
to
to see it.
happen.
It's going to be a storyline.
they're
though.
throwing everything at the net, no pun intended.
Yeah, and this is not me. I did not do this. So what's going
better
on?
not have done this.
I know. So what's going on?
This
If people
infuriates
don't
me.
know, is me too. Is LeBron has these? There's these murals that a couple people have drawn of LeBron, and they've both been defaced.
This city doesn't deserve
and I'm joking,
LeBron
but
James.
because I don't like LeBron, so I think it's funny. People
They
are
don't
like,
deserve him.
And the one says 3 and 6, the other one says we don't want you. It's got all these these things. I personally don't want him on a mural with Shaquille and Chick Hearn and Kobe and
They
Magic.
tried to-
and I wait till he has done something here. You
Yes,
guys.
I
That's
think
all I'm saying.
they definitely tried with this one to show the stature of the legend, and then him.
But I just don't
no,
want
I
him
know.
in that.
I'm totally in your boat. I think that the
Yeah.
muralist needs to just like calm it down. However, there's so much disrespect happening. To me, I'm such a preserver of art.
Yeah,
that,
it's same with me. So I don't like that part.
No.
But let's not do that one again.
But
and then the one that says "Welcome to LA" or "King of LA."
King of
I think is
LA.
what it
That
said.
was so wrong.
Why don't just put a photo of this and then just say "Welcome to LA"? Or I don't know. Like maybe it's the words
would still be
that are
defaced.
making people mad.
The problem is that they're making LeBron already a god, and he's done nothing.
He's
yet
done
for a
nothing.
city.
This is
And
what
they're
they
I'm
asked
talking about the
for.
statue.
And they're
you
talking
talked
about the statue in front of Staples Center. You haven't done anything. If you won 2 or 3 championships, then we'll talk about it. But
Yes.
go have your Quicken Loans.
Slow your roll, Los
in
Angeles.
Cleveland with
This
their
is what
statue.
y'all asked for.
Not
you
me.
wanted LeBron.
You know I don't want him.
Oh, I know you don't want
No,
LeBron.
well, the Laker fans.
Laker
Yes,
fans
Lakers
wanted
it.
LeBron. Congratulations, you got LeBron. This is LeBron. This is
Yes.
what happens when you have LeBron.
Right.
And I mean,
And wasn't his house graffitied like last year?
know,
And
but-
there's people in LA who don't like him. And Jeannie Buss said today, or yesterday, "Oh, I didn't realize." This is kind of a funny thing that she said to handle it. She said, "Oh, I didn't realize there were so many Celtic fans in Los Angeles when they
That
found
was
out."
that was a classy way to
when
handle
they
it.
when
though.
they found out
Yeah.
about that, and I don't know, are they putting him back up, or because I think they painted over him.
yeah,
right?
people
And-
are painting over him. But I mean,
and
y'all
then
wanted
there's-
LeBron.
and then they're starting.
I mean, that's
you
what's
go.
so confusing is y'all wanted LeBron. Well, I don't think so. I think it was the Lakers organization that wants LeBron.
Because I don't remember murals
I don't know
of
if the
Shaquille
fans-
and Kobe and everything.
Yeah, I don't know if the
or
fans
am I
have
wrong?
embraced it 100%
Well, I mean,
yet.
when Shaq came, he wasn't like who LeBron was. I mean, he played a little bit on the Magic, but like he
Yeah,
wasn't.
I just don't know
LeBron.
about like a guy who hasn't even played one game with us is already getting all these.
Amen, sister.
I don't know.
I think that's where the hate and
Animosity
anger
is?
is coming
Yeah.
from.
Oh, I mean, fans are overzealous.
Yeah.
Right.
As hell. Like they think LeBron James is already their savior. They haven't even played a game yet.
Yeah.
And I have to tell people who are not knowledgeable in basketball, like who are Laker fans or the casual Laker
Mm-hmm.
fan, y'all don't buy your NBA Finals tickets yet. I hope you know that they
do not do that.
It's going to be scary about them even getting the playoffs.
yeah.
I had someone come up to
I
me.
think they will make the playoffs,
Sure.
but
They will.
they're not going to be in the Western Conference Final. I'm sorry,
Nope.
they're not.
No, I had someone
Yeah.
come up to me at a party and like a bunch of I was talking with someone about basketball and they heard Lakers LeBron like, oh, they don't know basketball, so like, oh, the Lakers are good now. High five. I'm like,
Yeah.
we don't know.
I've had people text
It's not
me
that simple.
who don't know about basketball. They said,
Yeah.
"Oh, so does that mean the Lakers will win the championship?" I'm like,
Calm down. Calm down.
I mean,
calm
yeah,
down.
again, he's going to be. There's no guarantee he's going to be carrying the team just like he did the Cavs. Only I'm a little more nervous because I just feel like
Calm down.
they're throwing everything at
well, that's what I'm saying, and I just don't know. Does LeBron
bench.
have it in him
to do it again.
at his age and in his
getting
career,
older.
where he wants to be able to kind of like handle all of this?
Eventually,
I
it's
don't know.
Like
hard
I said,
to
it's
do.
a circus. We're here to watch and enjoy
Or is he just happy
basketball.
that he's walking red carpets every night? I mean, I don't know.
That's what I'm afraid of. I think the LA life is
the
going to
LA
get a little
lifestyle,
bit too big.
but then he has to deal with all these clowns and put the team on his back again.
And
like,
it's so
he
much
wants to play
easier
Wade.
to be distracted here than it is in Cleveland. What's going on in Cleveland? I mean, how many times can you go to the
That's
Hall,
what I'm saying.
the Pro Football Hall of Fame?
Go watch a Browns game, like whatever.
Well, and all his and like his movie
what I'm
deals
saying.
and stuff like that. They're definitely moving him into a celebrity rather than an athlete, and that's why I think that people are upset about the murals
Yeah.
too. Is
That's dangerous,
It's
though.
more about idolizing this, celebrity. It's like, well, let's see him play in a Laker jersey first,
Right.
and then.
And I'm not trying to be like negative Nelly. I just am trying to be realistic.
We're all in the same boat, man.
It's really, it's
Telling
so
you.
hard to say though, because he could either, exactly what we're saying, like, oh, pan out to be nothing, and like, oh, is it nothing? Or he could take this team to new heights that they.
Yeah.
Well,
And
he
I
won't
mean-
be nothing. He won't be nothing. He's a
No.
phenomenal player.
But is it going to be everything?
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't know.
That's what people
And I'm
think, and that's what
happy-
we got to wait for.
I'm happy for the Lakers that they finally signed a big guy in the offseason because they've
It's been a minute.
It's been good
Sure.
for the organization
I
that
mean-
that I worked for so long. So I'm happy there. I just
Sure.
the whole thing.
Better not be another Dwight Howard situation.
Right. Remember that? And Steve Nash. Remember when they
That
came
was
together?
that was not. It wasn't Shaq 2.0.
No.
No, you dropped the team into
Well, Dwight
nothingness.
could have been
and-
another Shaquille if he actually put his
Should have
mind
stayed
to
in
it, but
Orlando.
he-
in my
I mean,
opinion.
there's just so many legends in that organization. I'm just afraid of
Yes.
what's happening. I
Right.
know they're making good moves, and again, you're so close to the organization.
Yeah. So I'm happy for the
Yes.
organization. I'm just not. It's hard to say.
I
It's
know,
hard for
I
me
know,
to, like,
but
I know.
but I will say I think it's just going to be such an exciting time for Laker
Yeah.
fans just to see what unfolds.
Well, we will see you again. We will not be here next week, but we'll be here in 2 weeks.
We
We're
will.
we're taking that break next week, and then we'll be back. And you never know where we may be. We could be somewhere not in this studio. Could be somewhere else. You never know.
Watch out.
In the back
Football
of my
starting,
car.
training camp. I don't know.
Watch out.
All right, y'all. That was the weekly pass. We will see you again. See ya.
Bye.
Are you riding? Say you never ever leave from beside me, 'cause I want you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
I thought you would've won from the jump that confirmed it.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.